So as we segue, this is an important message to coaches. Coach to your level.
Yeah.
Always challenge the kids to be a level ahead of where they are.
Right.
But don't coach 10-year-olds like they're pros.
Yeah.
Just give it up, bro. Like nobody cares. Like you don't have, it's not serious. It's about development. But yeah, so the Pro Canadian Invitational, was really born out of my experiences as a Usport coach. And it happened to be, we founded this at the back end of COVID, right? When everything was shut down, and then all of a sudden there was a double cohort because people were granted eligibility. And so you had players that had graduated their academic program. They could technically go back and play university, or they just had to start their life. And there was no support for anyone who might want to continue pursuing basketball as either a profession or a way to just continue growing and playing competitively and maybe travel and have some life experience.
Yeah.
And I thought back to myself, and like all these guys that we coached over the years, even at Western, like every time a guy would be in his senior year or getting close to graduating, we'd be like, "What's up, man? What are you going to do?" Like, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to play pro."
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "Oh, that's so cool." Like, do you have an agent? And they'd be like, "No." And I'd be like, "Did you talk to a coach or a GM, or like, did somebody contact you and say they had an opportunity for you?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, what? Like, what do you mean you're going to play? How are you going to go play pro?" Yeah. And they'd be like, "Coach, man, I averaged 14 in the OUA, like 14 and 6, man." Yeah. I'm like, "What?" And I realized, think of all the stuff you do for your guys here at Polaris Prep to help them earn a scholarship.
Yeah.
We don't do any of that for our players that age out of university. And guess what? They're 22 now, 23 years old. You're not even at your physical potential, your mental potential, or anywhere near what you could be as a basketball player
Still
at 23.
Very young, yeah.
You're done. In the history of Canada, it's like, you're done. Get a job, bro. Like, it's over. So I wanted to find a way to support those players. And I thought there was a big gap in the NBA and every other subsequent professional opportunity below that.
Right.
Of course, at the time, we are starting to like really impart the global game by our NBA players. But there's so many guys scattered around the world playing at various professional levels. So how do we help guys that want to get an entry-level opportunity? How do we become an entry point to professional basketball for Canadian players and coaches? And that was the whole philosophy and value system we started the program on. And the first year, we invited 32 players. Yeah. And we were like, if one of these guys gets a deal, what a success this would be. And, sort of the marquee guy that ended up coming was Prince Odoro.
Yeah.
And Prince at the time had gone and bounced around D1 a little bit, but had kind of fallen off the radar of everyone. He'd been written off, so to speak. And he was a great player. Mm-hmm. And he came in, he had size, he was noticed. Guys were like, okay, and he went through the event. He had a great showing, and CEBL teams and local domestic teams took notice.
Right.
And, he got an opportunity, and then he turned that opportunity into a European contract. And now he's been a 5-6 year pro and has worked his way onto our senior men's national team. When we roll out the B or C group, obviously how political it is now with the NBA guys and who shows up. But so it was really successful. And then ultimately of those 32 guys, almost half of them ended up going on to play professionally in one way, shape, or form. Various levels. It's important to understand that. And we don't act as an agent. We run the program as a service to the basketball community. I operate it as a zero profit event. We're covering the cost of everything. We're trying to provide the best possible experience. It's almost like a trade show where anyone from the basketball ecosystem can come together for 2 days, check everything else you're doing, just be about putting a big spotlight on Canada basketball, and get any stakeholders, players, coaches, media, referees, anybody who wants to pursue a professional opportunity in the sport, a chance to meet people who could potentially make that happen.